What's up, YouTube? I'm ranking the top 10 guards in the NBA right now. Let's get it. Starting at number 10, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. No, he's not a top 5 player in the league, and he's definitely not a top 5 guard in the league. He's not even the first OKC point guard to have inflated stats. In my top 10, I have to include Jamal Murray. This season, his stats aren't looking too good. He just came back from resting a month due to soreness, and he's been mostly forgotten about. But should I really put other guards who are worse just because they score more in the regular season? Once Murray is actually 100%, his production will match his talent. He's an elite scorer, and no one can guard him. His and Jokic's pick and roll is underwhelming, honestly, but his individual scoring ability is enough for him to make the top 10. Whether you think Paul George should be in my forward video or not, he's my number 8 guard. Coming into the season, the Clippers did not have a lot of guard depth, leaving Paul George with much of the guard duties as he's dealt with most of his time on the Clippers. Either way, every YouTube video he's in has comments saying he's a forward with guard-like handles. He's going through a rough stretch right now shooting-wise, as is every Clipper, but in terms of defense, Paul George may be the best defender on this list hands down. Just for fun, I'll say he's better than Shai because Shai will never grace the cover of a 2K disc, and Paul George's influence goes beyond that. I mean, I'm literally wearing PG6s right now. Someone who's had no problem scoring is Donovan Mitchell. He's had at least 20 points in all but one game. He scores effortless, putting up a solid 27, 5, and 5. Like, if you see the way he scores, it's like he's not even trying. He's capable of scoring from everywhere on the court, basically, and he's averaging 2 steals a game on top of that. I had made this exact video in the preseason and left him out because while his stats were good last year, his team was trash. But similar to Shai, his team's winning now. So, Tyrese is the number 6 guard in the league. He just had his first career triple-double, and it came in the in-season tournament. This is sort of a playoff, so Tyrese is a bit of a playoff riser himself. He's definitely a top 5 playmaker as he carries the Pacers and creates so many looks for them. I made a video on them at the beginning of the season saying Tyrese is the only one who can get his team involved because they're not shot creators at all, but Tyrese is working miracles. I didn't even know who he was before the Sabonis trade, but he keeps getting better and better by the day. Pretty soon, he'll be a household name as we chant MVP, MVP. MVP. Speaking of MVP, here is someone who has actually received MVP votes, and rightfully so. De'Aaron Fox is the closest player we have to prime Westbrook. Is that crazy to say? De'Aaron is a freak athlete. Not only is he super duper fast, but his control is crazy. Another way he's like Russ is that he's fearless. Against the Spurs, he faced Wembanyama one-on-one and drove right into him, scoring the layup and won. He finishes so strong like Russ, he's fast like Russ, and he's even a comparable shooter. While I do think he's better there. He shoots only a career 32% from 3, but is clutch as we know, like Russ. But Fox has more scoring abilities because he can do step backs, step throughs, fades, even, and he has a pretty deep bag. I don't even have Steph Curry in my top 3 guards, let alone my top 3 players. Coming to the season, everyone was saying, Giannis, Jokic, and Steph are the 3 agreed upon best players. I never agree. Curry has lost a step this year. He looks slower, not a lot slower, still the best shooter, shooting like 12 threes a game on 43%, but it's clear that his off-ball movement has caused so many to glaze him, and I don't know if I'm just watching his worst games, but Curry isn't making the same contested shots he used to. Now, of course, he can't be such a weapon without Draymond Green screening, but even when he was healthy, Curry has played more on-ball recently, and he could be the best scorer in the league if he would attack more rather than shooting 2/3 of his shots from behind the arc. So, does he settle for threes because he lost a step like I said earlier, or is he just seeing more value in threes as they're worth more points? Let me know in the comments. Devin Booker has been insane this year. I had him as a top guard in my preseason video, but the next 2 players have exceeded him this season. That is in part due to him having missed 9 games this year. But when he has played, he's been on fire. Averaging over 11 pull-ups a game, he's making 5. And his fadeaway especially has been deadly. We saw the greatest fade of his career against the Knicks, and he won them that game, and 8 others, bringing the Suns' record to 9-2 when he plays. It's also a good thing that he's kept his effort on defense from the playoffs, although it has little impact. Above Devin Booker, I have Luka Doncic. He's had so many spectacular plays this year. It's unbelievable. With each dazzlement of Luka magic, it becomes more clear that Luka is coming for MVP. While he may have been one of the candidates for the trophy last year, his team was unsuccessful to say the least. This year, he's played all but 1 game and is carrying the Mavericks to the playoffs. In his most recent game, he had 36 points, 15 rebounds, and 18 assists. While most of those stats came too late in the loss, Luka has been nothing short of incredible. Additionally, his playmaking is better than everyone else on this list as he can always somehow thread the needle. Being the best passer and scorer in terms of points per game is why Luka is number 2 on my list. So if the best passer and scorer, the 2 most important trades for a guard, isn't number 1, who is? Anthony Edwards. He's on a Michael Jordan trajectory, and this is the year he becomes a superstar. He's the best player on the team with the best record, and we have to give him his credit. Even in the FIBA tournament this summer, Ant has played every minute this year with intensity, from diving for loose balls to transitioning. No star gives as much effort as Anthony Edwards. It's crazy that stars don't play defense in this era, but Ant is young compared to others, so he can not only play great defense, but also average 26 points a game. He's more dynamic in offense this year too, as opposed to just being a high flyer. He's shooting 45% on catch and shoot threes, and has shot almost as many shots behind the 3-point line than he has in the paint. It's not Ant has superstar potential anymore. It's Ant is the superstar on his way to becoming the GOAT. That's the bottom line. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.